It was Vladimir Lenin who said there are decades where nothing happens and there are weeks where decades happen. This was a week where decades happened for America. Global policeman, world's greatest military power, undisputed leader in a unipolar world, suddenly being derided as a banana republic. An exaggeration for sure, but what an image did. And what a historically horrific week for the US. America will certainly take some time to come out of this concussion, but when they do, if they want to be a good banana republic, they can take some lessons from Kerala. Number one, never outsource rioting. You may get a lot of drama, but not proper direction. We know Americans are addicted to outsourcing, which is why Kerala has big IT parks in Thiruvananthapuram, Kochi and Kozhikode. But never outsource chaos and pandemonium. Always do it yourself. Lead from the front. See how Kerala's politicians do it themselves. This was in protest against a finance minister who was allegedly corrupt to his teeth. But just a few years later, these same protesters absorbed that same finance minister's son and his party to their fold. That's how good banana republics do it. Now, if the US Republicans cannot find time to come to Kerala to take lessons, they can always take lessons from the Keralite who was seen waving an Indian flag amid all that chaos. Now, he is a role model. This is a man who has left India nearly a quarter century back, rises to a political leadership position there, and in the middle of an insurrection, not Joe Scaria's adjective but Joe Biden's adjective, this man suddenly discovers his loyalty to India and waves that Indian flag. He can probably advise the Republican Party how to go forward, but probably splitting that party into a Republican T for Trump and a Republican P for Mike Pence, and advise them how to grow like the Kerala Congress Party and move forward by growing as it splits and splitting as it grows. Number two, don't just appear feudal, practice it. Be every bit that tin pot dictator. India's princely states are long gone, and so are the princes, but Kerala's politicians emulate them. Violate all the rules. Race through traffic along Kerala's narrow and cluttered roads with loudly honking pilot vehicles in front and behind you. Always try to keep the media away, and when you have to face them, tell them on their face to just get out. But more than all that, stoop so low that you have a monopoly over all inaugurations. Take years, sometimes decades, to construct a flyover, a road bypass or a building, but after it is ready, take your own sweet time to decide when to inaugurate it. So this week some anonymous persons opened for traffic a ready-to-use flyover at Vaitila, a congestion point in Kerala's commercial capital Kochi. But the inaugurations are all privileges of the neo-feudal political leaders of the state. So the flyover was immediately shut so that the chief minister can inaugurate it at his convenience. But to be a world-class banana republic, one has to take credit even for sanctioning an LED bulb, as happened in Kerala's Kottayam district a few months ago, and even get it published in the leading newspaper in the state. Number three, grow bananas and invite misery. It was in 1901 that American writer O. Henry coined the term banana republic. And he had in mind countries like Honduras, which had only a few resources and products like bananas and minerals. Kerala is quite literally going through a banana republic moment. It has a banana glut. Retail prices have crashed to as low as 25 rupees per kilogram, which means farmers get just about 8 to 10 rupees per kilogram, and one farmer even decided to give away bananas for free. And that's when one of Kerala's senior-most communist leaders writes an editorial page article saying Kerala gives its banana farmers a support price of 30 rupees per kilogram, when retail prices are only 25 rupees per kilogram. Well, in banana republics, you have to lie through your banana skin. Come to think of it, it is not just the United States of Kerala striving to be banana republics, but the whole world seems to be becoming one big banana community. After all, the pandemonium at Capitol was not quelled by the police or the famed intelligence services or the military, but by Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter's Jack Dorsey, who cut off communication lines to the US president. How wrongly many believed that POTUS, President of the United States, was the most powerful man on earth. Since its declaration of independence in 1776, the United States has faced several overwhelming challenges, but most of them have been internal, like the Battle of Gettysburg of 1863 and the stock market crash in 1929. But 225 years after independence came the first major external threat when terrorists brought down the World Trade Center towers. And 20 years later comes this insurrection and domestic terrorism, as Joe Biden called it. 245 years of democracy appear to be close to being brought down in just a few hours. After Capitol building Washington, the banana wagon's next stop could be New Delhi, where rugged tractors could roll instead of gleaming battle tanks on India's Republic Day. Imagine India's soldiers and farmers coming face to face. After the mobocracy in Washington, India would want to avoid a farmocracy in New Delhi. Seems like the banana effect is undermining democracies everywhere. For lessons, look to Kerala, where you can munch banana fritters, which are now really cheap. Both Democrats and Republicans will relish them. Thank you and a Happy New Year.